What if your most chaotic life experiences didn't just leave you with a collection of weird coping mechanisms, but actually gave you a higher IQ in the areas that actually matter? We usually talk about trauma as something that leaves you broken, but psychologists are starting to realize it can actually trigger a high-level cognitive upgrade. Think of it as the dark souls of personal development. You didn't ask for the difficulty setting to be turned up to nightmare, but now that you survived the boss fight, your stats are actually higher than the people playing on easy. This is traumatic intelligence. It's an underrated form of smarts that lets you see things others miss and solve problems while everyone else is still looking for the instructions. But here's the kicker. There is one specific trait common in survivors that most people mistake for a personality flaw, but it's actually the secret reason why people with messy pasts often dominate in high-stakes careers. If you don't realize you have it, you're basically leaving a superpower on the shelf because you think it's a dent in the armor. The problem is that our society is obsessed with what I call golden retriever intelligence. We celebrate the people who had a smooth, linear path, straight A's, zero drama, and a personality as predictable as a dial tone. We look at trauma like a cracked screen on an iPhone, something to be fixed so we can get back to factory settings. But that's a boring way to live. When we treat trauma only as a disorder, we're ignoring post-traumatic growth. By looking at your struggles as just a tragedy, you're missing the fact that your brain was forced to evolve. You were tossed into the deep end of the pool with weights tied to your ankles, and instead of sinking, you learned how to breathe underwater. So, what does this actually look like? First, there's hyper-attunement. While normal people are walking into a room thinking about what's for lunch, you've already mapped the exits, identified who's having a bad day, and figured out that the person in the corner is definitely hiding something. This isn't just being jumpy, it's elite-level pattern recognition. You're like a human sonar system. Then there's the resilience paradox. Most people lose their minds when their Starbucks order is wrong or their Wi-Fi goes out for 10 minutes. But for someone with traumatic intelligence, a total system collapse is just another Tuesday. You have a battlefield logic. While everyone else is busy panicking and updating their LinkedIn to looking for work, you're already 3 steps ahead because your nervous system was calibrated in a furnace. You don't just handle stress, you eat it for breakfast because honestly, you've seen worse. To see this in the wild, let's look at 2 guys, Dave and Alex. Dave had a great childhood, a 4.0 GPA, and his biggest trauma was losing his favorite pen in 2012. Alex grew up navigating a household that felt like a game of Minesweeper. Fast forward 10 years, they're both starting businesses. When a major supplier goes bankrupt, Dave has a literal meltdown. He's calling his therapist and wondering why the universe is so mean. Alex just sighs, orders a pizza, and spends the night figuring out a workaround because he's used to things not working. He's been negotiating with unreliable suppliers since he was 12. That isn't luck. That's a brain that has been trained to find the gap in the fence while everyone else is staring at the locked gate. Look, I'm not saying you should go out and look for trouble. Life usually does a pretty good job of delivering that to your doorstep for free. And this isn't about staying toxic or glorifying the bad times. Trauma is heavy, and the entry fee for this kind of wisdom is a ripoff. But if you've already paid the bill, you might as well use the rewards program. Traumatic intelligence is the moment you realize you aren't damaged goods, you're a custom build. You have a depth of empathy, a weirdly accurate intuition, and a grit that can't be bought at a seminar. I want to know, what's the superpower you developed from a situation that was supposed to break you? Maybe you're the king of de-escalating angry people, or you have a spidey sense for bad vibes. Tell me your story in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. And if you realize today that you're actually a lot smarter than you gave yourself credit for, hit that subscribe button. We're decoding human potential every week. And let's be honest, you've survived way scarier things than a YouTube notification. Thanks for watching.